He's in a mood, and it's not a good one. I've already asked Chef to start prepping his favorite dishes, Hazel said. A noise between a howl and a growl filled the night air. What is that godforsaken racket? That would be Cooper shifting so he can come greet his master. Hazel cast a glance down the stairs. We are all expected to bow to his favor. What? He comes in here unannounced and expects us all to kiss his ass? Pretty much. Hazel stared down the stairs with Sabrina at her side. Maybe she was batshit crazy. No, there was no maybe about it. She was batshit insane and had had enough of this day from hell. First, Destiny gives her and Kristoff some love zap, and when she was finally about to ride the pony, Satan interrupts. Her mood was now fouler than the smell of her eyebrows being singed off her forehead. She stormed down the stairs, filled with determination and stupidity. When she reached the bottom, she stomped past a four-legged creature with black skin, large pointed ears, and more teeth than a mouth should be able to hold. Cooper, is that you? She stopped and waited for some sign the hellhound understood. She didn't have to wait long for the pooch to headbutt her hand. It was something he had been doing since they had met when he wanted attention. Good boy. She scrubbed her fingers through the short fur. I like you much better the other way, but if this is who you really are, then I'll love you this way as well. After a pat on the head, she made her way with Cooper at her side into the library, where she found Kristoff seated with a man who looked nothing like Satan. There was no red skin, horns, or glowing eyes. No way was the man sitting across from Kristoff the devil. Satan wouldn't wear a Pink Floyd tee and faded jeans with holes in the knees, would he? For some reason, she pictured him to be more of a black suit kind of guy, when not wearing his devil outfit, of course. However, when he brought his gaze to her, his dark eyes reminded her of melted chocolate, and she wanted to dip herself until she was coated. His black as midnight hair was tied back, giving a pleasant view of the dark shadow that covered his jaw. Yowzer. Heat started in her belly and quickly radiated outward until she was in a full-on sweat. This was so not a good time for a fucking hot flash. Or was this his doing? She narrowed her gaze, dug her courage out of the gutter, and marched forward. Satan, I presume? He stood and was every inch of 6'5", slightly taller than Kristoff, so she had to crane her neck to look up at him. It certainly took a bit of steam out of her rage. Sabrina, how lovely to meet you. He held out his hand, and she hesitated for only a second before accepting. His skin was warm, but not hot to the touch, as she expected. There were no burns or blisters when she pulled back and examined her fingers. He laughed. Did you expect me to turn you to ash? The thought had crossed my mind. I understand your presence here has everyone in a bit of an uproar. Might as well get straight to the point. His smile made her both shudder with fear and melt with a desire to do anything he asked. It was enough to make her head feel like The Exorcist. I certainly do not mean to cause so much chaos, but it comes with the territory, I'm afraid. Being the Lord of Hell presents its own reputation. And you're certain you don't take advantage of that? She looked him up and down. You are not what I expected. His laughter was dark and deep, resonating off the walls. Let me guess. You were expecting horns, hooves, and a pitchfork. She lifted a shoulder. Of course. Cooper was still stuck to her thigh, so she reached down and scratched his head. I see my hound has taken a liking to you. That tells me all I need to know about the type of person you are. Or should I say vampire? I understand your transition was most recent. She wondered where this conversation was going, and libido was busy licking her lips each time she glanced at Kristoff. Damn that goddess for revving things up. Somehow she needed to figure out why Satan was here and get rid of him so she could get her vampire back into the sack.